Good evening and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Dominic Ottens alongside Corey Mullen, and for the next few minutes we'll present our top 5 sports stories of this week and discuss why they made the top 5. Did your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At number 5, defensive end G.O.A.T of the Houston Texans has been released after 10 seasons with the team. Now Corey, where do you think Watt will end up, and was this the right decision by Houston, or should they have come to an agreement to try and keep him on the roster?
Dama was the right decision. Houston was unfortunately in rebuilding mode, and Watt was not a part of the plans. And one spot I could see him ending up is Green Bay. Our pass rush last year was very lackluster, and I think J.J. Watt would immediately help the Packers pass rush.
Now, I know a lot of Packers fans out there would definitely have to agree with you on that, and I think I would be okay with that decision as well. But I think realistically, one of the landing spots for him has got to be Pittsburgh, because his younger brother, T.J. Watt, has been putting up stellar numbers and has been a dominant performer for the Steelers. And so having both Watt brothers on the ends of the defensive line would just bring a whole nother element to the team. Now, I don't think this was a mistake by Houston. This has been coming for some time. I know Bill O'Brien was very much to blame for some of the releases of DeAndre Hopkins and a lot of other talent around him. We're still waiting to hear on Deshaun Watson, but this is just kind of the end goal, the end game for everything that Bill O'Brien did. He didn't have a direct hand in this, but this was the end result of it. I mean, there was no other move that they could make, and they're in a rebuilding stage, like you said, so this is going to have to be something that Houston's going to have to move on with.
Okay, now let's transition to story number 4. At number 4, the Wisconsin Badgers have been hard at work this offseason, bringing on some promising new recruits. Is this the Badgers' best recruitment class since the 90s? Will this new draft class play a big role in the team's overall performance?
I don't think it's going to have the biggest impact that the Badgers would hope for, because they already have some very great performers coming back for this upcoming season. Now, I do think that these new recruits are going to provide the push that the Badgers need. Now they have one 5-star O-lineman coming in out of Pennsylvania, and then they have 5 4-star recruits coming in as well at different positions. This is going to give them the push that they need, because I know they didn't finish where they wanted to. Although they did have the Duke's Mayo Bowl victory, it wasn't the season that they were looking for. So Paul Chris is definitely going to be implementing these new players, and I mean, come on, it's still O-line U. I mean, the Badgers are still going to be relying on the run game with this, and the talent that they're bringing in, that's not going to change.
Dom, I agree with you there. And like the one recruit I've been looking at is TJ Bollers. He's 6'4", 250 pounds, linebacker at Tiflin, Iowa. He is great about rushing the passer. He's very athletic. And I think he'll contribute to the Badgers' D-line for next year. Another guy I'm looking at, you mentioned the 5-star guy from Pennsylvania, Nolan Rucci. I think he'll be a key cog. You know, he was highly sought after. It was between us and Penn State. We ended up getting him. So Nolan Rucci next year, watch out for him.
Marcus Allen, I think, is another recruit that we need to keep our eye on. Now, he's at the wide receiver position, and the Badgers aren't really known for bringing in such high talent at the receiver position. But it gives the team hope, and I think it gives all the fans hope that they're looking at this position as a way to improve the team and give Graham Mertz more options this upcoming season. But we're going to have to hold our thoughts right there. We've got more coming up on the list, including a discussion on Aaron Rodgers and his MVP season. We'll be right back.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating a mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out, because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
The James R. Conner University Center on UW-Whitewater's campus is a gathering place for students of various cultures, backgrounds, and lifestyles. The UC is a great source for information, campus tickets, meetings, entertainment, food, gallery exhibits, workshops, and all of your hot card needs. Whether you're looking for a place to study between classes or just a place to hang out with friends, the UC is the place for you. For more information on the UC, please visit uc.uww.edu or go to facebook.com/uc.uww.
Practicing social distancing is imperative to maintaining safety in the residence halls this year in lounges and common areas. For kitchens and laundry rooms, we have capped occupancy at 2 students in these spaces at any given time. Students will not be allowed to wait for their laundry in the laundry rooms, and if 2 students are already in the space switching laundry, please wait outside for one to leave. We ask that those using these spaces are efficient with their time, so all students have the option to use the common areas as needed. We thank you in advance for your cooperation.
Welcome back to the list on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top sports stories. Coming in at number 3, Aaron Rodgers wins the most valuable player this season. Is it well-deserved? Should he stay with the Green Bay Packers or try taking his talents elsewhere?
Now, Corey, before I begin, I will admit that growing up in Wisconsin, I may have a little bit of a biased opinion towards this, but I do think Aaron Rodgers deserved this MVP award. I don't see anyone else in the league who earned it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw 48 touchdowns this late in his career, and that was the best he's done in his career. And on top of that, he only threw 5 interceptions. So although he may not be putting up the most passing yards in the league, one of the most important things a quarterback can do is keep the ball in the offensive hands. He didn't turn the ball over, and that gave the Packers opportunities to be able to come back when they were down or be able to keep the lead and keep quarterbacks such as Tom Brady off the field for longer, so that way the defense could rest and then prepare for this upcoming series. Now, I don't think Rodgers should go anywhere. I think that this is a program that has been built around him. Matt LaFleur is still a very young coach and he's still learning. I know that there were some mistakes made in the NFC Championship game against Tampa Bay, but this is still a system that he's very comfortable with. He has the weapons around him, Devontae Adams, David Bakhtiari, the top tackle in the league. I mean, he is just doing what he needs to do in Green Bay.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He had 48 touchdowns. He led in almost every statistical category, but it won't be up to him. It will be up to, I think he'll be done in 3 years, and Jordan Love will be the starter.
But sticking with the NFL, our next story, coming in at number 2, the Whitewater Warhawks' very own Quinn Meinerz declares for the NFL draft. Now, what are your thoughts on if he'll get drafted and what round?
He will get drafted. You know, last year, a couple years ago, he won the team MVP, and he was also the first team All-American. But when he came into the Senior Bowl at Mobile, he was, nobody was talking about him. But all of a sudden, he had a great performance, he had great practices, and he also played through a broken thumb as well. And as far as getting drafted goes, I think he'll be at least in the 4th to 5th round range. I think scouts love him.
The scouts really did love him, and even one of the announcers at the game actually wore a Whitewater Warhawks shirt because they gave him this highlight reel because unfortunately he wasn't able to do much with that broken hand. The coaches really kept his playing time to a limit, but I think he's going to go 3rd round, and he was putting Division I athletes on their back, so I think he's going to be able to make an impact early on in his NFL career going into the NFL.
Stay tuned. We'll wrap up this edition of the list with our number 1 story of the week right after this.
Warhawks know what it takes to become champions. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our student athletes pursue excellence with a determination that inspires everyone on campus. Warhawks are smart. Warhawks are strong. Warhawks value service. We prepare our student athletes for life after college. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
Turn us on. Flip them off. 91.7 WSUW. 91.7 is a student-run radio station serving the Whitewater area with a variety of original programs, live sports broadcasting, community events, and more. So turn us on. 91.7 FM. Or stream us live at 917theedge.com.
UW-Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002. 61 individual national titles. 24 National Athletes of the Year. 616 All-Americans. 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year. 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
In order to safely provide desk services, plastic barriers will be installed at all operational residence hall desks. Student employees will wear face coverings, and any lines that occur will be spaced out via visual markers on the floor.
Welcome back to the list on UWW-TV. It's time to reveal our #1 sports story of the week. At our #1 spot, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win Super Bowl 55, making this Tom Brady's 7th career Super Bowl victory. Now, Tom Brady continues to prove himself year after year. Has he finally proved that he is the greatest of all time?
Dom, no, because there's really no such thing as the GOAT. Tom Brady is very good in his era, but Joe Montana was good in the 90s. John Elway was good in the 80s, and Terry Bradshaw was good in the 70s. It's different rules, different regulations. The NFL has, they've more gone toward the offensive player and gone kind of against the defensive player. So no, Tom Brady is good in his era, but he's not the greatest quarterback of all time.
Now, I think you're one of the very few people that I would actually agree with on this. I realize that for a lot of sports fans, it was weird seeing him in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform. And yes, he did have a great season this year, but he had so much talent around him of Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette. I mean, he had the ability to just be present in the pocket and just be able to make plays and get the team where they needed to be. I don't think he's going to be greatest of all time, but we'll see if he makes another Super Bowl. But that will do it for this edition of The List. We'll be back next week to talk up more sports headlines. For Corey Mullen, I'm Dominic Ottens. We'll see you then.